All right, so we're here in Burbank at the private airport terminal. We were just getting ready to do a bird's eye view of Altadena so that we could get an idea of the production rate of the Army Corps of Engineers cleanup program, but we couldn't get the drone high enough. So we figured what better solution other than to hop in a helicopter, and we're actually gonna kill two birds with one stone. We're gonna fly over both Altadena and Pacific Palisades, and we're gonna try and get an idea of how many crews are actually working, how many lots have been completed, so that we can estimate how long this cleanup is actually gonna take. And it's also the first time I've ever been in a helicopter like this, so I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I've been on small planes, but this is a first. And this is a small helicopter. You can see here from the bird's eye view, this actually isn't that large of an area. Makes sense from up here how the fire could have torn through so quickly. Directly ahead of me, that's Eaton Canyon, that's where the fire started. You can see a completed lot there, a couple completed lots. And we're flying over the golf course here. You can see this is a private way station for ECC. So we're flying right against the foothills here so we can see everything that's going on. All right, there's a crew right down there. That's the third working crew that we've seen. Another crew here, that makes 4. Large crane, that's a 5th crew. Another one down here below, that's 8. Another one down there, that's 14, and a 15th. And this is Fair Oaks, directly below us here. And apparently a staging area for equipment. So in total, seems like there's approximately 15 to 20 working crews. That's a combination of both Corps of Engineers projects and private projects. Keep in mind these jobs on average take about 2 to 3 days to finish. So you can do the math there. So flying over here, we're close to Dodger Stadium, and it's another reservoir completely empty. That is unbelievable. I never realized just how many helipads there are on top of some of these buildings.
It's more for an emergency, so if something catches on fire, they can land there, but it's not like for private use. You cannot land just for fun, unfortunately. It would be really funny, but
yeah. So we're right now flying over Pacific Palisades, and we can see we've got one crew directly below us working. That actually looks like a new construction project. So there's 2. Again, smaller equipment, appears to be a private job. We see 2 private crews, and that is an Army Corps job below us now. That's 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So it appears to be a lot more crews mobilized over here in Pacific Palisades. Here down below you can see a staging area where they have additional equipment right outside of their sorting area. And there's a clear shot of all of the metal recycling and concrete crushing.
so now we're gonna towards Malibu. We're gonna go towards Malibu. I'm gonna stay on the right side, like over the PCH, so Pacific Coast Highway.
Okay.
And then on the way back, I'm gonna go over the water so that you guys have a clear shot also on the coast.
So far what I'm seeing over here is that the most equipment operating is over in kind of the downtown Pacific Palisades area, really kind of the main town center. But once you get north of Sunset on Pacific Coast Highway, the number of crews really dwindles quickly. There's probably about 4 or 5 total crews to the north side of Sunset. And south of there, we spotted probably close to 30 crews. So a lot more activity in the main town center of Pacific Palisades. All right, so we just touched down back here in Burbank, and I think the summary of what we saw is in Altadena, they have about 20 crews total operating, both public and private. In Pacific Palisades, there's a huge output. Looks like there's somewhere between 40 and 50 crews. And then once you get north of Sunset and you get into that Malibu area, there's only about 3 to 4
crews operating in that entire area. So for sure, if you're in Malibu, my suggestion would be start to look for a contractor. It looks like you're somewhat at the back of the bus.
I didn't see a sewer marking anywhere so far.
In order to close out the permit, we have to mark out the sewer and cap it.
I don't know.
But I haven't seen on a single one of these Corps of Engineer jobs them actually capping and marking out the
No,
sewer.
my buddy told me that they're not doing it. He's with Danville. They're not doing that.
Why do we have to do that as part of our permit? But imagine being the builder coming out here and you got to just search around for that. Okay, so we've started a new phase of this fire cleanup, and that is, it's our first day on a job here of one of the jobs that the Corps of Engineers has already signed off on as complete. But what they did, like on all the jobs, is they only took the fire debris in the ash footprint. They leave behind things like this, like driveways. Over here you can see there's a big porch, a wall, all kinds of stuff that was fire damaged and can't be left behind, but they didn't take it. The homeowner, they've asked us to come in here, finish up the work that the Army Corps left behind, and get this site prepped and ready to build on. This is basically going to be the situation on every property that the Corps of Engineers handles. So it's common to see as you drive around town, you're going to see properties with block walls standing, driveways, swimming pools, that kind of thing. In most cases, that needs to come out before the property is ready to build on. So we're going to take out this whole porch here. We're basically just getting, just like we do the other ones. We'll get all the concrete out of here first, and then we are going to pull out all these trees. And then here we got to get all these trees, and then this turf that burned here. We could get like one 20-yard roll off over here or something to throw all these trees and this fire debris. How long did it take you guys to get over here? What time did you guys leave this morning?
But then it rerouted us like 1,000 different times.
Get off the freeway, get back on the freeway over here. Took us on side streets LA because it was blocked off. We're like, okay.
Let's document a little bit about what we're doing. I'm going to show this wall that they left behind.
Yeah, this is all Army Corps leaving behind. Awesome.
I guess technically this doesn't constitute as fire debris, but I mean, I just pulled that off by hand. That's just the top level, but if I pull on this wall, you can see it's been hugely compromised by the fire. So this needs to go. You could never leave this there. This will be something that we take out and we'll actually document when we invoice it to the client as fire debris because it's been fire damage. And their insurance should cover this, and it should come out of the policy before the Corps of Engineers gets the bill. So this shouldn't come at any extra cost to the homeowner. All this other concrete, I mean, this site is not anywhere close to ready to rebuild. So we're going to take out all this concrete, and then we're going to pull from some of these high spots and grade this as best we can. It's still going to need a civil engineering plan and a grading and drainage plan. But to the best of our ability, we'll get this lot flat, and there will be very little work to do later. Also going to take out the driveway up front, and the adjacent property, the neighbor, has asked us to do the same thing. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone here and take out both properties, all the remaining fire debris. People are going to be building in 2 months from now.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if you saw, they've only approved 2 permits so far.
Yeah. One of my operators was telling me that the other day they approved 2 permits. I was baffled, but he said one of the properties on the other side wasn't even clear yet, but they approved it. So.
We're about almost 90 days out. We can't even get a house permit approved, you know?
That's
You could put these houses up quick if they'd allow the permitting.
Well, they put them up quick and they rebuild quick when there's just stuff they want done personally. But let it be a fire. No, you can't go fast.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing weekly updates documenting every part of this fire rebuilding process. I'm Luke Melcher. I'll see you next time.